Hello fellow Earthlings, and welcome to another video. I know it's been a while since I've done a long format one, but here I am. But don't worry, this one is not gonna be too long because I know all of y'all have ADHD. So do I. This one is gonna be a little spooky because it happened to me pretty recently. Trigger warning, if you guys need it. You clicked on this video for a reason, but just in case. All right, here we go. This year, for 4th of July, my friend Angela invited me to watch fireworks with a group of her other friends. Nate, one of the guys from the group, happens to live at a base of a very big hill, and he says that the view from there is amazing. He's like a photographer, so he goes up a lot to take cityscape photos. I met these friends at their house, and we slowly started to make our way up the hill. It was right before sunset when we made our way up, so it was still slightly light outside. And by our way up, I could already tell that it's not gonna be an easy night because this hill was overgrown with tall yellow grass. Nate had to calm us down and tell us that this path is usually a lot more walkable and it probably overgrew due to the rainy season that we had this summer. As comforting as that thought was, it didn't really help me with all the scratches I got from plants on our way up. I mean, in perspective, going up was still somewhat easy. Like, as long as you're walking up, you can't really get lost. Like, we made it to the top, you know? Everything considered, I think that we made it to the top at like the perfect time because the sun has just set when we made it to the top and the fireworks started going off, and overall, like, we had a blast. Sadly, the fun had to end sometime because we got cold in around an hour and decided to make our way back. However, the path that we took to get up was no longer there, or rather, couldn't be found. All we could see was tall yellow grass, almost impossible to walk through. Like, it was giving corn maze, but with grass instead of corn. Nate was the one most familiar with our way home, so he took the lead once again. I'm not even gonna lie to you, the way down was rough. The hill was steep and it was pitch black. Everyone had their phone flash on, but even with that, we could still barely see each other. Also, if you can imagine, we had to move the grass out of our way with one hand and having the phone flash in the other hand. So we were also kind of immobilized in a way. On top of that, the grass was so thick that we had to walk in a single file line, ultimately losing each other at every turn. We were walking in silence. It felt like every man for himself at that point. I was walking behind the group and I got separated for like a minute. I was obviously terrified to be in the dark on my own, and I had no other choice but to literally go to the sound of rustling grass to hopefully find my people. I picked up the pace and eventually stumbled into Nate. Or should I say someone that looked like Nate from the back. I got happy to not be alone in the dark, but something about this guy was very off, which made me wish that I didn't find him. He was walking extra slow and not moving any of the grass strands away from his face, so every strand of grass was just hitting him in the face. He was holding his phone with its flash on, but he wasn't using it to light his path. Like, it genuinely seemed like he was holding the phone just to hold it. I was about to ask him if he knew where the rest of the group was, but I had a gut feeling telling me that I shouldn't talk. A moment later, I heard a scream, not a scared one, but a shocked one. It was followed by a guy's laughter saying,
"Are you okay?"
"Yeah, I'm fine,"
said a girl back. I was like, thank God, because I recognized the voice and immediately bolted over to the sound. When I made it to the source of the sound, I saw Angela and a few other people from the group. It looked like she had fallen and the others were helping her up. Well, when I took a moment to take in the scene and catch my breath, I realized that the person helping her up was no other than Nate. In the middle of their conversation, I hear him ask, "Have you guys seen my phone? I think I dropped it." So immediately I get extra terrified. Who was I following? I told my friends what had happened, and everyone agreed that we should stick close together for the remainder of the night. This time, we were following the real Nate. I'm pretty sure. However, the lower on the hill that we got, the thicker the grass was. And at some point, Nate turned around and admitted defeat. He said that we had to go back up and try to find another path down that hopefully would be more walkable. At that point, we were on edge. We flinched at every sound. We jumped at the sound of fire truck sirens going off in the distance, sudden snaps of twigs on the ground, and a dog howl. That was another strange thing that happened. It was so loud that it drowned out every other noise. And the scariest part about it was how inhuman, or should I say an animal, this howl was. It sounded raspy and full of rage, and it went on for an uncomfortably long period of time. My friends and I started to get worried that it might be an animal on that hill, like a coyote or a mountain lion. But the noise did not line up with the animal. We definitely had to pick up the pace because we kept hearing rustling coming from behind us. Eventually, we made it up to the top where we ran into the rest of the people from our group. They were just about to go down the same path that we were coming up from. They looked at me and said, "Valeria, why'd you run away? Is Dan okay?" And I'm like, what? It's been so long since I ran, and I wasn't running from them. I was running from Nate 2.0, and Dan was walking right behind me, and he was completely fine. So I asked them, like, what's going on? What are you talking about? Like, what did I say? Why did I run away? Just now, one of the girls responded. Apparently, I ran up from behind the grass and told them that Dan fell and broke his leg, and then we needed their help to help and carry him. Yeah, and then I just like ran away into the grass. Obviously, I never did such a thing, and I had the rest of the group to back me up. We also filled our group in on the Nate encounter that I had, and I know I said this like 1,000 times, but everyone was terrified. We decided to stay in a huddle until we found a more walkable path to get down the hill. Miraculously, we did find that path down and quickly ran down that hill.
Hey, this is it. We're gonna make it home today.
When we were at the base of the hill, everyone was taking the tension off and like making jokes and everything. You know, it's 4th of July, for God's sake. We deserve to have some fun. Yes, Nate lost his phone, but we all made it out safe, which is all that really matters. And to not be a mood killer, I spared my friends one detail about that night. As we were walking away from the hill, I glanced back and saw myself staring us down. She quickly turned around and walked back into the grass. My mind cannot think of any reasonable explanation for that night's events, but at least I know that if Nate calls, I should not pick up. Alright guys, welcome to Behind the Scenes. I hope you enjoyed the story, because now it's time to take this off again. Did you miss that? Did you miss that? I gotta find the edge. I still can't see. There's still tape on my eye. Oh. Nice. I definitely do need to shower after this. I love doing these makeup looks, but they're such a pain to clean up afterwards. You know what? I am just gonna go take a shower, and I hope that the rest of the gelatin resolves in the hot water. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again later. That was the longest outro I've ever done. Bye!